Hi, everybody. My name is Rebecca Garrow, and I'm talking about negotiating with confidence, which I am not a pro at, but we all have to do it. So, why is it important to negotiate with confidence? Well, this is something that it's a skill that we all need to know. Many people in many cases need to negotiate their contracts, their scopes of work. We're actually not taught this in evaluation school, right? And also, there are many cultures and many genders that are actually not taught to negotiate as well. But this is an important skill because having a good negotiation will bring you more money. At the end of the day, this is a job. It will also bring you more happiness. By having a contract, a scope of work, payment terms, salary, whatever, that is fair, this is going to help support you in doing the good work that you want to do. What might you negotiate? You might negotiating your scope of work, your payment schedule, the contractual terms, or the deadlines that you have for a project. So, what are some resources that I recommend for effective contract or just any sort of negotiations? Let's go old school. I'm going to recommend some books. So, the first book I'm going to recommend is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. He's a former FBI negotiator. And I like this book for two reasons. Number one, he gives you actual scripts that you can use, which I have. Number two, he talks about a lot of the mistakes he made as a negotiator in high stakes situations. And it was very helpful for me to learn from those mistakes. Number two, yes, I am actually recommending this book, but this book was actually very helpful to me, especially as a young person. At the end of the day, people are going to want to negotiate with and work more with people who are nice. So be nice, be friendly, be easy to work with. This is going to help you in your negotiations. I am also going to recommend two blog posts. So Stephanie Evergreen is someone that has a lot of qualitative visualization, products, work, newsletters. She also has something called Boost and Bloom, where she gives business advice. And this was a helpful newsletter to me where she talked about contractual clauses that she has negotiated. I have done this too. As a small independent consulting firm, we provide different services than a large state or government agency. And when they are asking me to take on their $5 million general liability or professional liability insurance policy, I am not able to do that. And so a lot of the times, people in government or even larger nonprofits or consulting agencies will not understand that. And so then I'm able to say, it sounds like this project takes on a lot of risk. My firm is small and I'm just not going to be able to do that. Lo and behold, they're almost always willing to negotiate that and bring it back down to the $1 million or $3 million policy that's a little bit more important for a small independent consulting firm to have. Ramit Sethi, you have heard me talk about his book before if you've participated in other IC topical chats, but he gives actual scripts. So he has a blog and he gives free scripts on how you can use it to negotiate your salary, which can also be related to independent consulting. All of these resources are linked in the resource packet that Matt sent out. I would also encourage you, don't be afraid to use the robots. The robots all are friends, and I use the robots all the time. So I'm talking about artificial intelligence. And I have used AI to help me rewrite some of my scripts in negotiation. So AI has helped make my emails nicer, more professional, succinct, and direct. It has also helped me come up with succinct, professional, direct scripts that I can have on hand when I'm doing a Zoom or in-person contract negotiation. I also remind myself, excuse me, that no might not mean no. So these are some concepts from Chris Voss's books when he talks about negotiation. When someone is telling you no, it actually might just mean that they're not yet ready to agree. You may be making them uncomfortable, especially if they're not used to receiving direct language before. They may not understand. This happens to us as independent consultants in evaluations sometimes too. We get people hiring us to do evaluations who maybe don't have experience in evaluations. They may not think they can afford it. They may want something else. They may need additional information and they don't have all the information they need to make a choice. We actually may be negotiating with somebody who's not the decision maker. And so then wanting to talk it over with someone else can be important. When you are negotiating, give yourself the gift of time. Rushed negotiations will not help you. Ask for time. Your body language is important. Now, this has been debunked, but I still think it's kind of a useful concept to think about. So they say when conveying information, 7% is through words, 38% is through tone of voice, and 55% is through body language. So think about what that means when you send an email. There is no tone of voice, there is no body language. You can use this to your advantage, but it also may not be beneficial to you in a negotiation. So just think about that when conveying information if you really do want your tone of voice and your body language to be there because it can help you. My tips to become a confident negotiator. So, number one, you will need to have guts. Now, I'm not telling you to go find guts right now. What I'm saying is, if you go into negotiation and you feel nervous, if you have a funny feeling in the pit of your stomach, if you are sweating, that is normal. It can be nerve-wracking, especially if we don't have experience negotiating. I want you to practice. Talk to your colleague, talk to someone on the independent consulting topical interest group, call your grandmother. I don't care. Practice. Even going in the mirror and saying these words out loud to yourself will help you give a more polished professional delivery. You need to have knowledge and understanding. What is it that you're asking for? Have your scripts ready. If you are going into a negotiation, anticipate what they might say. Use the robots, use artificial intelligence to help you, but have some scripts at the ready. Be flexible. You may learn additional information in a negotiation that will change your mind. Have a backup plan. Are you willing to walk away? If you deliver a scope of work and a price and they say, we love it, let's do it, can you do this exact same volume of work for half the cost? Are you willing to walk away? You need clarity on your wants versus your needs. Again, ask for time and be prepared to be quiet. So that was a 5-second pause. And if that made you feel maybe just slightly uncomfortable, right? People are going to want to fill the silence with voice. So if you're the person that you're negotiating with is asking for something, it is okay for no to be a complete sentence or for you to give your response and say nothing, right? So that's what I want to talk about with negotiating with confidence. And now, in the remaining time that we have, we can talk about any curveball questions that you have.